Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. And through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this is a journey of investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is to try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades. We do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for as little as $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In the previous video we looked at ticker symbol MMTLP, and the focus of the video was looking at a potential comparison with the ticker symbol FANG, who carried out a recent acquisition of Firebird Energy. So please refer back to that previous video for details of that potential comparison. This was also a deal for an oil and gas company in the Permian in October 2022. So although it's not a like-for-like comparison, it's certainly something quite interesting and could give us an insight into what may happen with our play. So before we look at today's video and the updates with regard to S1 version 3 amendments, I'm going to have a look at the quick updates with regard to what's happening in the market. So let's start by having a look at quick headline here. At close of play on the Friday, we can see there was a little bit more good news. So the US stocks did end the week as in the best week since June. The Dow closed over 750 points higher, so it was overall a little bit more positive. The Nasdaq was up just in excess of 2.3%, and overall stocks did climb quite positively. Looking ahead to this week coming, we can see a headline here. There is a significant amount of earnings, so the mega caps earnings are going to test the US stock market. So in my opinion, I am expecting more positive earnings than probably many people expect, but hopefully that will also give a positive impact on the market as a whole. So let's just finish off here by having a look at the overall heat map for close of play on the Friday. So even though we can see here a lot more significant green, but we also can see here even stocks like Tesla, which did take quite a hit in terms of the earnings, was also up close to 3.5%. So much better week and more to come hopefully. Let's start by having a look at the chart for close of play Friday. We can see it was up very close to 7%, closing at $4.76, and at one point it was also trading in excess of $5. I think the shorts did try their best to drive this down closer to the $3, but were unsuccessful. And we can also see close of play on the week, it was also up close to 17%. So good momentum there, but certainly we're not where we want to be. So now a quick shout out here to Paul T, who stated here, shorting has not ceased. So in terms of this week, he's saying the volume out of 2.4 million shares, we're looking at 59.55% of the volume were shorted, and for the past 10 days he's saying 13.9 million shares, looking at 54.3% of the volume was also shorted. So he's staying here, we're looking at only 35,000 shares left to short. In terms of a borrow fee, we're looking at around about 34%. So overall opinion here, shorters are fighting, but it is a losing battle. Fully agree with that. So thanks for your post here, Paul. Let's now start by having a look at the latest S1. So this is amendment number 3. I was actually expecting approval in the aftermarket of Friday, but we have not had approval. So this is an amendment version 3. So the company were very quick to submit this amendment. I believe they submitted this within 2 days of receiving it. So now the ball is in the court of the SEC to give final approval. So we will have a look at potential timeline of dates and estimate of when this might happen later on, so stay tuned for that. So overall, in my opinion, I think what the SEC have said is they have actually asked for minimal and small minor details and minor additional changes. I don't think that this is because of things that were missed out by the company. I think the SEC here themselves are asking for additional details that they did not ask for previously. So let's now have a quick look at what they have asked for. So this is the first thing that we picked out, and we can see here on the left is the original version, on the right here. So they've asked for additional details here which have just been clarified on the right, and that is with regard to monthly production rates for the Flying Bee Ranch before, and now the updated amendment here is stating that it's estimated to be 4,000 to 100 BBL, although we will receive no future revenue. So that's the thing that they wanted to add in. So obviously it looks like it's a little bit of a bearish statement, that they, just a clarification that they will receive no future revenue from these wells until their estimated depletion, because all such revenue after deducting expenses to produce oil is to be received by MHP directly and credited towards the recoupment of drilling costs incurred by MHP. So clarification there that they wanted, that there is not going to be future revenue. So again, looks like they're trying to add in a little bit of a bearish statement there. The other thing they've added in here is with regard to drilling activities, and on the right here we can say again a very, very minor change. On the left we actually had drilling and development and exploratory wells on the left identified for different projects, including Hazel projects, Orogrando project, etc. But now on the right they actually want them lowered in terms of more specific numbers. So previously it might state 2 wells, now they want it as numbers such as 1.6 or 0.8. So not a big clarification and not a big change, but it's something that they are now insisting on. So that has now been completed, and I think the most important one that everybody is talking about is here. We can see this is under section 427, so highlighted at the bottom. This is what they wanted to add, and I wonder why they wanted to add it, and that is, we are not currently engaged in any negotiations or discussions with third parties in respect of any strategic options. So that was not in the S1 previously. So one thing I would like everybody to now think about, so let's just imagine a situation where the company were in negotiations. So if we can just sort of ignore that and say, okay, let's say the company now are in negotiations, would you have expected that to be added in? So I certainly wouldn't have expected that to be added in. So if the company were in negotiations with a number of oil companies, in my opinion, that would not have been added in. So if that was happening previously, it's something that would have prevented any confidentiality agreement. So even if there were negotiations before, they would not have added them in my opinion. If those negotiations have now ended and they have an agreement in principle, or something else is going on behind the scenes, which we're going to speculate on shortly, now they are adding that in. So again, we're going to look at reasons why this may have been added in shortly, and I'm going to be sharing with you opinions of a number of people as well. So I'm going to share with you one of my first responses here, and what I stated here is SEC amendments were received 2 days ago, returned today. I said not huge changes, but obviously they're looking at monthly production rates, looking at drilling activities, but they've also said they wanted an addition that they are not currently in negotiations with the third party. So one opinion here that I've said here is an agreed sale would also be an example of no more negotiations. So that's one theory, and that's a bullish theory that I've stated. Obviously T-Jarks Apodico, I'm sorry for the pronunciation there, stated here, if the assets were already sold, wouldn't the SEC make them put that in the S1? Not necessarily, because I think the assets can only be sold once it becomes private. So although I believe an agreement could still be in place, and if an agreement is placed, that means there are no negotiations. And then finally, shout out here to Stott Slanger. He stated here, as long as you don't discuss financials with a third party, you are in negotiations. Look, it's like looking at a car, not making an offer till later. They can't discuss numbers prior to spin out. So basically his opinion is they do have interested parties that will make offers once completed. Now I'd like to give a shout out to Tony Twits from Market Moves and share with you some of the responses and opinions that he shared. So he put one of his posts here, states that the S1 amendment with regard to the third amendment has now been filed. So he's stating here that now we're in the final game, near the end, it's longs versus the shorts. So shorts have to close their positions and it has to be before the date of record. Longs don't have to sell. So can shorts get enough longs to sell, and who do you think is going to win? So we're in a very interesting period here. The other thing that Tony has said here is quick difference of the version 2 and version 3 is we're not currently engaged in any negotiations, which has already been discussed. So let's now have a look at the opinions with regard to that. and I'm going to give a shout out to Bird Lady here as well. So let's first of all see what Tony has said. He said here, if they received a letter of intent or discussing a letter of intent with regard to pricing, they are just showing the land, describing the assets to potential buyers, and that is not a negotiation. No numbers discussed equals no negotiation. So 100% agree with Tony there, and that's a great angle on the situation as well. So the Bird Lady here has also stated that the letter of intent is considered a definitive agreement in Texas. So, and again, that's what I also stated in my post, that it could be an agreement to sale. So she's also saying here Exxon was considering a Denbury acquisition, but no letter of intent, so not definitive. Indeed, they can show the assets. So overall, the opinion and consensus that from my point of view, and the opinions that I'm just sharing with you here, is the SEC have probably asked for that to be added in, and that is obviously going to have the purpose of shaking off some people who may take the opinion that there is no buyer, so let's get rid. But we don't necessarily agree with that. Let's now have a look at the latest post from John and George. So first of all, John Bird has stated here, team did a great job of turning this around in 2 days. I feel like we are getting very close. In fact, I will not be talking about MMTLP until news comes out. So obviously John is being very, very careful not to sort of breach any privacy regulations and confidentiality agreements, and obviously not get in trouble with the SEC or the authority. So he's quite right to do that. So but what he has stated here is, have a great weekend, everyone. And he's shared an image of what looks to be a champagne glass. Let's have a look at what George has said. He stated here, let's get the party started, tagged in John Verber, and also shared a link of the version 3 amendment. So no clear-cut indications of what is happening here, but certainly they both seem to be very happy. And I'd like to give a shout out to Terry, who's reposted a tweet from Gardner Wade, and the tweet in question is simply saying, hey Siri, play Mission Impossible theme song. So have a look at the tweet and I will let you make your own mind up with regard to what that may mean or what the implications are, but it certainly seems to be implying a countdown. So very positive there. So the other shout out again in terms of Terry I'd like to give is with regard to one of his latest videos. So check this out. This is very bullish. So two things in here. One is with regard to sharing information about a call he made to Fidelity, and what's more important I think with that is with regard to images he shared from Seed Plant showing that we are now drilling. So check out the video there from Terry. An absolutely fantastic and tremendous update there. Next update I'd like to share with you here is from Market Moves Tony. So check out his response to the S1 amendment. Great video there and great updates, and again very positive, sharing his initial reactions. And finally I think a shout out to the Bird Lady. Bird is the word, and her response here is also very positive and bullish. So check that one out, and that's the video dated the 21st of October 2022 MMTLP update. I'd like to now give a shout out to David, who's posted an important message for all the investors. And remember, David is one of the significant investors and holders of MMTLP. So what he stated here is a message for everybody who's quite nervous. Read the post, listen to the people you trust. And this is an important message for the shorts and also people who are looking to try and swing this. So one of the problems that you may get, you may not be able to get back in at all if you are trying to swing this and take profit. Fill orders are taking time, sometimes hours, possibly even days, and you may not even be guaranteed to get back in. So the problem of that is you may not even get the price that you are expecting. So that's the risk of swinging this. Shorts may also use synthetics and manipulate it down on no volume, giving the illusion that people are dumping, but that will not necessarily be true. So what he's also saying is that we are not selling. So as far as Berder is concerned, I don't believe he's selling. William, as far as I know, is certainly not selling unless it squeezes the short out of life in their breath. So we're probably looking at triple figures before some of these key people are selling. So that's an important message to be aware of. And next shout out I'd now like to give is to Red the Pirate, and what she stated here is with regard to potential prediction for approval, and this is final approval. So she's saying here the median date for approval is 7 days, but it can be as short as 4 days. So her target day is Friday, so I'm very happy with Friday, but I'm going to go with Thursday. So Thursday or Friday would be great. And so let's have a look at what happens there going forward, but certainly do expect approval towards the end of the week. And just to finish off here, I'd like to give share another post that I shared with everybody here with regard to how it finished last week. So what I stated here is nice finish today, very close to $5. We will be ready for Monday and potentially a huge week. Bring on the food, bring on the soup, bring on the elephants, bring on the bears and the shills. There will be plenty of thrills. And finally, I'd like to give a shout out to some of the stocks called in our weekly watch list. So remember, not all calls are successful, but one of the stocks I'm sure you're all aware of that we have been watching very carefully is MMTLP. So that was up close to 17% on the week. We also called out ticker symbol IMRA, and that was up close to 14% on the week. So congratulations to everybody who got in on that one there. We also called out NTNX, and that was up about 2.4% on the week. INVA, that was traded around about level, and UAL, that was also called as potentially likely to beat earnings. That was up just close to 11% on the week, and also ticker symbol PEGY. An extremely volatile high-risk stock, so down overall on the week, but from Wednesday there was a tremendous opportunity to get close to a 50% gain, which I know many people did. So in order to get the next weekly watch list, which will be made available to the Discord members exclusively prior to trading on the Monday, you can certainly consider joining us from as little as $9 a month. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.